Hey, what's going on, guys? Globe here. Welcome back to another achievement video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get all 12 achievements in Maximum Football 2018. It's a very quick 1 to 2 hour completion. However, there are some bugs involved, which I'll talk about later in the video. But let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first achievement you're going to unlock is just for playing a game. I'll show you my settings here in a second for how I went about getting all the achievements. But when I first loaded into the game, I just played a regular match, didn't mess with anything, and got this achievement. So the first thing you're going to want to do at the main menu is go down to the bottom to customize and select teams and players. Once you get on the team that you would like, hit right bumper and that'll take you to the roster. Now for the quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, and the kicker, you're going to go ahead and select all of those, and you're going to hit left bumper until you see the ratings tab and make sure that all of them are maxed out for each of those players. That'll just make everything a little bit easier, and you're definitely going to need to do that for the kicker for one of the achievements later on. So I wouldn't recommend doing what I did and just hopping right into a game. Go ahead and adjust your settings a little bit. These are the settings I used to get all of the achievements, so you could either copy them or adjust them to your liking. The only one that you really need to worry about, or the only two, I guess, are the quarter length. You're going to definitely want to make sure that that's at 15, and I chose to do the difficulty on easy. It just made everything obviously a little easier. So the first achievements we're going to be going for are the two rushing ones. One is for rushing for 50 yards in a quarter, and the other is rushing for 100 yards in an entire game. My favorite play to use for this was called the Cowboy. It just seemed like the hole opened up very consistently, and I was able to get big chunks of yardage often. But once you get to 100 rushing yards and 50 rushing yards in a quarter, you don't need to worry about rushing anymore. You'll have both of the rushing achievements, and you can move on to the passing.
It's first and 10. The ball is on the 49-yard line.
Alright, so now we're going to be worrying about the 6 passing achievements, which take up a majority of the achievement list. To start off, on all of your kickoff returns, just grab the ball and head towards around the 5-yard line. That's going to give you more yards to be able to get the passing yard achievements that much quicker. My favorite play to use for the passing was called Dublin. That green one, which is A, they seem to get open pretty often, and it's pretty consistent. But if you want, you could play around and pick whatever one is working best for you. The running back screens also work okay. It's just hard to kind of sift through the traffic and get big gains out of it. So the first passing achievement you're going to get is for completing a pass. Once you hit the receiver button, whatever that is, in my case it was A, you don't have to push anything extra after that to help the receiver catch the ball. They're just going to do it automatically, and you'll get your first achievement for completing a pass during a game. The next one you're going to be going for is 5 completions in a row in a single game. I was using the running back screenplay for this, but looking back, the Dublin is definitely the more consistent way to do it. That's the play I would recommend for all of the passing stuff. And same goes for the 10 completions in a row achievement.
It's second and long.
The next one you're going to get is for 100 passing yards in a game. This one's pretty easy. You could see I'm just kind of running around looking for an open receiver. And this was before I started using the Dublin play, so that's why it's kind of all over the place in terms of running back screens and then just random plays. But it's pretty easy to get 100 yards. Alright, so after the 100-yard achievement is the 300-yard achievement. You can see the Dublin working to perfection right there. And you're just going to want to rinse and repeat until you get 300 yards.
The ball is on the 20-yard line.
And the final achievement for passing is going to be the world record, where you have to pass for 713 yards in a game. Pretty easy to do as long as the quarter length is set to 15 minutes. Keep running the Dublin and you'll eventually get it, no problem. Alright, so now we're going to start getting into some of the defensive stuff. This one is for getting 3 player-controlled sacks in a single game, which means you have to be controlling the player that makes the sack. The play call doesn't really matter in my opinion. Just make sure whatever guy you're selecting, you're lining up on the outside, and when the ball is hiked, hold A to rush the quarterback, and when you get the opportunity, hit X to dive at the quarterback. Alright, so before we talk about the final defensive achievement, we're going to talk about the kicking achievement. So this is why you wanted to max out your kicker at the beginning when you were adjusting the player stats. Make sure that your kicker is fully maxed out, and then make sure that the weather is sunny. And pay attention to which way the wind is blowing. You're going to have to be on the quarter where you're facing the right direction and the wind is in your favor. Then you're going to want to use a run or pass play to get the ball down to the 45-yard line. You can see here I got to the 46, which will work just fine. Make sure the wind is in your favor. Go ahead and line it up. I like to line it up a little bit up. So when you're aiming it, you're going to want to make sure that you also pull the arrow up a little bit so it gives it a little bit of lob, and then hit the left stick down and up as fast as you can, and you should have no problem assuming that the wind is in your favor. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the final achievement, which is for getting 5 player-controlled tackles in a single game, which basically just means that same as the sacks, you have to actually be controlling the player that makes the tackle. And this achievement, unfortunately, is extremely buggy. I did a lot of research on this, and some people the achievement has no effect on. It just unlocks when it's supposed to. Everything goes smoothly. And for people like me, it probably took me a good 200 tackles to get this achievement. So it took several hours of grinding, and me not knowing if it was going to unlock at all. I was just kind of like, alright, let me try it one more time and play for a couple hours and see if it does unlock. If not, I'm just going to have to chalk it up as not completed. So, like I said, I did a little bit of research on this achievement, and a lot of people have different methods of how to fix it. None of those methods seem to work for me. You could change certain stats that's supposed to help fix it. For example, if you're playing Canadian football opposed to American football, that could make a difference. If the achievement isn't unlocking for you, just play with the stats a little bit and keep trying. That's all I could really say about this one. I wish I had a better fix for you, a more guaranteed fix. But the settings I showed you at the beginning of the video for how I was able to play the game and get all the achievements were settings that worked for me. It did, like I said, take around 200 tackles, but it still worked and got me the achievement, so I hope that helps. That's it, guys. That is how I got all of the achievements for Maximum Football 2018. Hopefully I helped you get them all, and hopefully you don't have a buggy mess like I had with the last achievement. So, thanks again. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.